Hello, my name is Teddy, and today I'm going to look at tuples in Python. So a tuple is a data type in Python that contains data in a collection format, and the data can be indexed, but the data cannot be changed once already it's created. So we can say that a tuple is immutable, okay, because you cannot modify the items once it's created. So we're going to look at how to create a tuple, to access elements, delete a tuple, and other operation like finding the index of an element in a tuple and counting the elements in a tuple. Okay, so first we have two ways of creating a tuple. So first we are going to look at the first one. So initialize a variable and say a is equals to tuple. Use the tuple constructor and say tuple. Then you use round brackets, then say 1, 2, 3. So that one, you have already created a tuple. If you try and print the data, what are you going to get? You are going to get 1, 2, 3. If you check the type of this data, it's going to be, I should give you a class of a tuple. Okay, there is. The second way is using a round bracket. So you can initialize a variable and say b equals to round brackets. You can use strings. So it's b, have c, then you have d. Okay, so if you print your b, what are you going to get? You're going to get abcd. If you check the type, it should give you what? It should give you a tuple. Okay, there you have your tuple. What if you want to create one element or a tuple that contains only one element? You can say c equals to round brackets, then test, then you have to pass a comma. Okay, if you remove this comma, what will happen? It will be a string. Okay, so if you print your c, what are you going to get? You are going to get test, comma. If you check the type will be sorry, round. There you have your tuple. Okay, so those are the two ways of creating a tuple, including creating a single element in a tuple, or a tuple that contains a single element. So next we're going to look at how to access a tuple elements. So now that a tuple is indexed, you use indices to reference the elements in a tuple. Okay, so say lm equals to a, for example, then the first one. Then if you print that element, it's going to give you what? It's going to give you a 1. What if you're saying b? If it's b, it's going to give you what? It's going to give you a b. Okay, as the first element. So you can play around with this. You can say 2. Okay, so that's how you can access the elements in a tuple. What if you want to iterate through the elements of a tuple? So use a for loop. So you say, it's pretty easy. You say for let's say elements for item in a, what I'm going to print, I'm going to print that item. Okay, if you run this, we're going to get 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so that's when you want to iterate through a tuple. What if you want to check if an element exists? Okay, sorry, if an element exists or is found in a tuple, what do? You're going to say, let me just bring this list it's visible. So there it is. So we are going to say if 1 in a. Okay, so we use an in operator. So we say if 1 in a, print 1 exists or is an element in a, else print 1 does not exist in a. Okay, so if you try and run this, what are you going to get? 1 exists. What if we try something else that does not exist? I'm going to say 1 does not exist, or 19. So here we have 19 does not exist. It says sorry, 19 does not exist. Okay, so there we are. So that's how we normally check if an element exists in a tuple. Okay, the other thing that we're going to look at is how now to modify a tuple. I'm going to use some little tricks to do that. So first, you convert your tuple into a list and say list, let's say, of a. Okay, if you try and print this, what are you going to get? You're going to get 1, 2, 3 in a list format. If you try and check the type, what's the type? The type is list. Okay, so yeah, it is right. So we're on the right track. Then we say we can modify an element by saying now a, let's say 0 is equals to what? Is equals to test. Okay, or list 0, sorry, I'm going to say list 0 equals to test. Okay, so if we print our list, what are we going to get? We're going to get test 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you can try practicing this. Okay, you can check also my tutorial on lists. Okay, so you can better understand what lists are. So once you're here, now you can convert back to your tuple and say let's say e equals to a tuple. Use a tuple constructor. Here we have used a list constructor to change to a list from a tuple. So use a tuple constructor and say e then list. Okay, so if we try and run our e now, what are you going to get? There's one command. I'm going to get test 1, 2, 3. So that's our tuple. So we have modified the element in a tuple using this trick, but it's not possible to do it the way we normally do in lists, like using index. It will give you an error. Okay, so next we are going to look at how to count the number of a certain item in our tuple. Okay, so we normally use a count operator. So we say if you want to count a 3, you're going to say a dot count a 3. Okay, if you print how many 3s do we have, you're going to get 6. So if you check in our list, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, so you have 6 3s in our tuple. Okay, next the other operation is checking the length or the number of items that you have in your tuple, all of them. So we use len operator. Okay, so our count will be equal to len a. Okay, so if we print our count, we are going to get 8. Okay, so it means we have 8 elements in our tuple. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that's all we have on our tuples. If you like this tutorial, kindly comment below, give it a like, and also subscribe. Okay, and also share with friends, because knowledge is about sharing. Okay, see you in the next tutorial on sets. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something.